Welcome to the Boomer Briefing Podcast, where we help you solve a critical business issue in 20 minutes or less. I'm your host, Jim Boomer, CEO at Boomer Consulting. And with me today, I have Chris Rochford. Hi, Chris. Thank you so much for joining me on this episode.
It's great to be here, Jim. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, so Chris is the technology manager here at Boomer, and in today's episode, we're going to get to know Chris a little better. So we'll dig right into the questions I have. So Chris, why don't you start us off? Just tell our audience a little bit more about yourself, what you do at Boomer, how long you've been here, and a little bit of the background of how you came to be an employee at Boomer Consulting.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I've been with Boomer Consulting for a little over 5 years now. I think I joined just before COVID, so a lot of changes in the very first 2 years that I worked here. So currently technology manager. I started off as a business technology analyst, and my role has changed significantly in the last 5 years that I've been here. So I started off as managing our technology, making sure that we kept the lights on, all of our technology was running correctly, working the way we expected it to. But that has certainly expanded over, again, especially the last couple of years. We've taken on a technology coordinator into the company that does a lot of that work today, as well as trying to streamline our asset management moving forward, while I am able to focus on more strategic initiatives. So I can lead projects from a technology deployment perspective. I can work on budgets for our technology team and for our company, and then I can work on even more so in the facilitation space. I'll be moving into BTCs, into our technology circles as a not as a consultant, but as a facilitator, meetings. So, and I come from a technology background. I wasn't always in the analyst manager role. I was a developer. I started a long time in the early days of web development. I won't say how old I am, but yes, I'm old enough to remember when there wasn't internet or the web. And so I did a lot of web development for the first 10 or 12 years of my professional career, but moved into into a business analyst role. As I started to understand there's a wide world of development opportunities available. It's not just coding. There is also building up requirements and being able to identify a compelling product to bring to fruition and let teams that actually can do that development work, that coding work, do that.
And you'll probably be shocked, Chris. I once was on a coding team back in my days at, let's see, this was Bearing Point. And so we were all locked in a conference room. But I had also done some of the requirements gathering. So whenever it came time to talk to the partner or client, they're like, Boomer, you're it, go out there. So everybody else wanted to be in the room with no windows and code. But
Right.
yeah, you're right. Like right when you came in, there was drastic change. Not so much from internal operations, because we had already shifted to the virtual environment, but more the external facing, and we really had to evolve and adapt, and you were a big part of that. So thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. It continues to be very exciting to see the amount of change that continues through technology. In the wake of COVID, but even continuing on into our new world.
Yeah. All right, I want to shift a little bit to get to know Chris a little better. So if you could talk a little bit about what do you like to do outside of work?
Yeah.
Family, hobbies, pets?
So no pets, unfortunately. Where I live right now is probably not the best place for a dog or a cat, although I would love to have a dog. Grew up with dogs, and I would I would love to have them, but where I live, there's not a green space for miles, so it would be torture for them.
You can have whichever dog was just barking a minute ago. Here, I'll bring him right over.
I get I have like 5 or 10, dogs that surround me in the other apartment this complex. I know they exist here. I really hope that they're getting the best existence out of this place that they can.
Yeah.
Um, I am a hobbyist photographer. I've invested a little too much money and time in cameras and have been on a number of different individual. I won't call them excursions. Excursions means that you really do a lot of planning, prep work, and you really kind of see the entire project through. I'm more of an opportunist when it comes to camera work, but I've made it work for me. I do a lot of landscape work. I also have done a lot of solar photography. The eclipse in 2017 is one event that I'm very proud of what I was able to accomplish there. Did not do that again this year because I've already done it. So I don't want to. I want to experience it this time. So yeah, I do that. I have family across the country, to the east and to the west. I do a lot of driving to hang out with them throughout the year, whether it's the holidays in November and December, or it's a football game or a soccer game in July. I will make that trip, and I prefer driving because it gets me time to disconnect, gets me time to really kind of have a lot of free thinking, and I find it to be a lot less stressful than some other modes of travel. So I love doing that too. And I've got a growing family, so we're up to 5 nephews now, and there are likely more along the way, coming along the way.
Cool. Yeah, driving also eliminates the risk of getting stuck in an airport. So you definitely have more control. So my next question: what do you enjoy most about working at Boomer?
What I like most is, again, it's the amount of different experiences that I can have here. We work with a we work with a lot of unique and interesting clients. They all have their own technology needs and concerns, but that some of it overlaps, some of it is totally unique to them, but all of it is within the space of technology that almost every other company has to deal with. So none of it is new ground, but it's new to them. And being able to help or being able to understand kind of where they're coming from, and what their specific pain points may be, if they're leveraging new technology, if they're migrating system to system, if they're dealing with, again, the number of safety and security protocols that we continue to need to build in just based off of the things that are out there in the world. There's a lot of activity there, and so externally there's a lot there. Internally, we're always building up our capabilities. We're always expanding our tool set. So there's a lot for us to keep in the air. We have new systems coming online all the time. We need to have them talk to each other successfully. We need to make intelligent decisions with the data that we're taking in and how that data cooperates with our other systems. So there's a lot going on. I think this is by far the most dynamic environment that I've worked in.
Cool. I'd agree. I mean, having been at other places myself, it's if you don't like the way your schedule or day is going, just wait till tomorrow. It's going to be something
That's
different for sure. Sometimes new and different.
Yes.
So, yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, what would you say is an achievement? It doesn't necessarily have to be during your time at Boomer, but what achievement makes you most proud?
I think within the company, I think being able to expand my role and taking on additional support in the technology space, additional colleagues within the technology space has been a big. I won't call it necessarily a singular achievement, and that's something that I do a lot is try to put the achievement on our team members. And it's true. It's a shared, it's a shared achievement. It always is a shared achievement. But being able to expand our capability there and being really focused on strategic initiatives within the company, I think is a big achievement. Personally, I can think back to my development days where I flew out to California and got to hang out with Rhett and Link YouTube personalities while we were working on a very specific project with them and with a company that we worked with. That was a lot of fun, and that was a nice, an interesting and unique experience to be able to deliver. But I think by and large, it's the continued expansion of my tool set and continued expansion of Boomer's capabilities that continues to be a huge achievement.
Yes, I would agree with you. Who would you say is your biggest inspiration in life or career or both?
In life, I would have to say my oldest brother is my biggest inspiration. Back when I was early days at K-State, he ended up coming back to our hometown. We had a medical emergency with my father. He stepped in. My brother stepped in and took over essentially parenting duties for my youngest brother at that time, and he really sacrificed a lot to be able to support and be able to steer through a very tough time. And I will be forever grateful that he has done that. He has since become very successful in his own right. He has a very successful job, has a great life. He has a new kid as of a couple years ago. So he continues to be a big what's the word I'm looking for? Now I'm blanking.
A big inspiration.
Big inspiration. Yeah, he's a big inspiration for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, and you'll have to get some brownie points and make sure once this episode launches that you share the link with him.
Yes.
That good answer. Good answer.
Absolutely. I'm looking forward to Christmas now.
Yeah. All right. So okay, these will be quicker and easier. What's your favorite place you've ever visited?
My favorite place I've ever visited. Okay, so I've got a laundry list of places that I want to go.
Yeah.
So far, the best place that I've been to has been Olympic Peninsula, Washington State, hiking out to the coast. That for me, that is my ideal climate. Right? It's never colder than 40. It's never warmer than 80. It's perpetually overcast, which I kind of like.
Yeah.
The rain, I could give or take, the rain, but my family lived up in the Seattle area for several years, and I loved traveling up there. I love the environment. I love the mountains to the ocean. And how quick you can get from one to the other in that location. That's my favorite. That said, there's a lot of opportunity for me out in the wider world, I think, moving forward.
What's on your bucket list? Where do you want to visit?
So I definitely want to visit Europe. I think, it comes off as a little cliche, I think, but if for those that have been, I know I know they enjoy it. I know I would enjoy it. I've got a long list of places that I would love to go and see. I've got a long list of things that would be ideal targets for photography that I would love to do. I'd also like to do a little eclipse chasing. So I took 2024 off, but there are going to be more eclipses out around the world. So maybe an opportunity to capture an eclipse and view an eclipse from a unique location. Uh,
Yeah.
I would love to be able to do that. So absolutely, absolutely. I think there's a lot of places on my list.
Yeah. A lot of cool places in Europe. So, and haven't been to them all, but been to several places, and that is a good location to aspire to get to. So, all right, transitioning. What's your favorite food? What's your favorite drink?
My favorite food is okay. Well, I would normally say I would normally say Italian. I would say like a light pasta, a seafood pasta. I'm a big fan of. However, we did just do a taco tour not too long ago as a company, and I can't say I'm opposed to street tacos on any given occasion. I think I could definitely enjoy more of those. Uh, I grew up with a very not an Italian family, but I'd say an Italian leaning family from a food from a cuisine perspective. So yeah, so that's what I grew up with, and that's what I enjoy quite a bit. My favorite drink, well, I do like a good bourbon. I am not a I'm not an aficionado by any stretch, but I like a good weeded bourbon, something that's relatively that's not super expensive, but is well received. Um, I don't think you can go wrong with that.
Yep, I'm with you on that. I'm with you on the foods too. Those you made me hungry. Um, all right, this or that time.
All right.
Mac or PC?
Oh, so this is an interesting thing. Um,
You got to pick one, Chris.
no,
You can't waffle.
I'm going to go with Mac. I'm going to go with Mac. I'm on a Mac right now. I think as a developer in my youth, I preferred Macs because that was kind of our standardized development environment, and I've loved it ever since. I just can't quite get the hang of using a PC every day. So that's my choice.
All right. And this one's going to throw the audience for a loop. I already know the answer. But Android or iOS?
Oh yeah, so Android, 100%. Sorry everyone, but
That just tells you you're not just an all-out Apple fan. You're choosing what's right
true.
for you and your preferences.
This is true.
Texting or calling?
Oh, you know what? Texting. I think I'm
Okay.
on the divide, like generational divide, where it used to be you could call all the time, but now I text.
All right. Which superpower, teleportation or invisibility?
Oh, teleportation.
Yeah,
Invisibility, I think, would be fun for a day. Teleportation would be useful for my life.
it would be amazing. All right, building off your favorite drink answer, neat versus one big rock.
Oh, one big rock.
One big rock. All right.
Yep.
And before I wrap up here, my last question, you mentioned bourbon. I got to ask, what's your favorite bourbon?
Oh, okay. So I was keyed into this one by our CIO Mark Stout. Rowan's Creek is my favorite. So that is similar to Noah's Mill, but a little bit
Yeah.
not quite as strong. It is good. I'll say it's a toss up between that and Ben Holiday Soft Wheat, soft red.
Okay.
That's also a good one.
I have had the Rowan's Creek. I've not had the Ben Holiday. So, hey, we got another one to add to the list.
That one's a local one, so it's just up in
Yeah.
West.
All right, cool. Well, thank you so much, Chris. Appreciate your time. And it's, working with you for years now. I know you well, but I learned a few things today, and I think our audience did too. So for our listeners, if you enjoyed this conversation, we release new episodes every Tuesday morning. We got to know Chris a little bit better today, but we also cover topics related to talent, leadership, process, technology, and growth. What all the topics have in common, that they are crucial to your firm's success and helping you solve a critical business issue in 20 minutes or less. So if you like what you heard, please subscribe, and thank you everyone for listening.